What's up guys, welcome to the video. I'm Josh.
I'm Mal.
And today we're gonna break down 3 steps into how to come up with an idea for a business. Step 1.
So how do you actually come up with the idea? So we broke it down into 3 categories: what you're passionate about, what you're good at, and a specific opportunity. So you wanna pick something you're passionate about. It's really hard. You might have a great idea about golfing, but you really don't care about golfing. So when the going gets tough and you're at like your lowest lows, it's so much harder to stay committed if you're not truly passionate about it. So you have to make sure it's not just your head in it, but that it's your heart, which is why us as 2 powerlifters started a powerlifting apparel brand.
And the second thing is passion. So find something that you're really passionate about. Did you just do passion?
I just said that.
Oops.
This guy never listens to me.
All right, so the second thing is finding something that you are very good at. For example, if you're good at graphic design, maybe look into starting a graphic design company or just starting to do like freelance work and work in a business that way. You already have the knowledge base for it, so all you have to do is...
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that's exactly what you have to do.
Just do it.
Just do it.
So the third thing we talked about is a specific opportunity. So a really good example we were talking about earlier is the company A7. A lot of people have heard of their bar grip shirts. So maybe Jason and Tatiana say they weren't into fitness at all. They kind of were, but we'll pretend they weren't for the sake of the story. So they're not into fitness, but they go into a gym and they see this problem that people are using chalk on their back and they need the grip. So that's where they come up with the bar grip shirt. And that's a really good example of here's this specific opportunity where I'm in an industry where this doesn't exist, where it's a problem that I'm solving and nobody's doing it. So that's a really good example of you might just kind of fall into an opportunity sometimes.
So after you choose your idea, where you want to go, then you have to look into the industry a little deeper. So that's whether or not you're already in the industry, your knowledge of the industry, your contacts, so if you know any key players or people who are already working in the industry, and if not,
what are you gonna do? So figuring out that game plan. So we're not saying you can't start a business in an industry that you're not already involved in. It's just, how are you gonna do that? If you're gonna do a business that has to do with tattoos and you've never even been inside a tattoo shop, there's a barrier to entry there, right? If we're powerlifters and we've never been to a weightlifting meet, we don't know anybody in weightlifting, that's a much bigger barrier than if we start something in powerlifting. So not necessarily don't do it, but how are you gonna do it? That's a whole added game plan there. How are you gonna get connected? How are you gonna get known? How are you gonna get personal experience so that you can relate to your customers? Number 2, did you say step 2 or no, step 1 or number 2?
Step 1.
Step 2, evaluating the idea. So once you have this idea, everybody wants to keep their idea to themselves. They think it's so precious. They think nobody's ever come up with something so great as their idea. This is super common. But the truth is your idea isn't shit until you execute it. 2 people could have the same idea. This person comes up with it first, but this person executes it. Who's winning there, right? So share your idea with your community. The most important thing here is we've known people in the past who try to keep their idea to themselves, and then when they finally share it, someone goes, oh, well, so-and-so is already doing that. And so you might actually have competitors that are already doing that and you think it's super innovative, so you're gonna need to shift.
What's even worse is if you spend a bunch of money creating the app, the product, the website, or whatever it is, and then you're about to go launch, and then all of a sudden you find out someone's doing it already with a bunch of customers way better than you're doing it. And at that point you're just stuck because now you have a product that's already out there, that's way better, and you lost all that money.
Yeah, getting surveys from customers, asking people how much they're willing to spend for it, if they would actually buy it if you ask them right now, because you don't wanna just go to your close friends and they'll all be like, yeah, that's awesome, totally support you. You need to go outside of your immediate circle and find like real feedback from people.
And next, you gotta realize you gotta evaluate if it's even realistic. So if you work 5 jobs and you have literally no time to start a business, then it might not be the right move right now. Do you have enough money to support your business? Not all businesses take thousands of dollars to start, but even if you don't have a couple hundred to start a Shopify store, for example, then it still might not be realistic to start. So figure out a way to
No, keep going.
Yeah, just figure out a way to make it happen, or if it's realistic.
Yeah, a really good example of that, bringing back the A7, is when Josh and I started LVD, our first idea was actually to put grip on a shirt. And this was right before A7 launched, which means they were obviously working on the product, but we didn't know it was a thing. And that was a really good example where we were coming up with all these ideas and we were doing some research and development, but really low budget versions. And we were like, honestly, this is just gonna take some time, money, and infrastructure that we don't have right now. So we took the decision to shift because we were like, okay, well, let's create a brand instead, and then we can always revisit this idea later. Obviously we didn't, because A7 did it and they did it awesome.
Yeah. Step 3. So the last and final step is to actually test your product or service. So if you have a product business, if it's a t-shirt, for example, for what we did, print 100 t-shirts and just try and sell them. See if your target customers like your design, like your message, and it's just a way to test the market and see if people are actually willing to buy what you're selling.
And another example for a service business would be online coaching. If that's what you want to get into, before you like jump in and make your logo and all this stuff, put the word out, take up to 100 applications, but only take 5 clients and test it out, because this will also help you figure out any errors in your ways or anything that needs to shift. And the most important thing is to not make excuses for your own product. So if you make 100 t-shirts and you sell 75, you don't want to say like, oh, that was pretty good. I just didn't like put it out there enough. But once I go live, I'll sell more. If you can't sell that first 100, there's a problem there and you need to identify it, because now you're gonna go make 1,000 and you're only gonna sell 500, and then are you gonna make another excuse for yourself, or are you just gonna be upset and be like, oh my gosh, what happened? The last one sold so well. Well, they didn't, right? When we did our first 100, we actually started getting a back order already where people wanted them, but we were out of their size. So that was a really good indicator for us. And then from there, then we built our website, then we finished our branding, all that. Sorry.
Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you guys can, hopefully.
Filipino.
Hopefully you guys take something out of this video. If you thinking of a business idea or wanting to start a business, these 3 steps will definitely help you get onto the right foot, and hopefully one day you can start your own business.
We're gonna be putting out more videos for you guys. We're gonna try to run it a little bit like a series and walk you guys through our business and help you along the way create your own. So watch out for our next videos. We're definitely gonna talk about how to start your business, finding a co-founder, all that good stuff.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Like the video. Like it. Oh.
That was recorded.